Hi, my name is Neil Watson, and I play saxophone with the Winnipeg Jazz Orchestra in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. When we first learn to improvise on the blues progression, it is most often the blues scale that we use as our melodic material. This scale gives us an authentic blues sound, and that's great. Many amazing jazz artists over the years have written blues songs using the blues scale as their source material. The blues scale is great because it allows us to float over the progression, sound authentic, and not worry about the harmony that's going on underneath. But the chord progression of a blues suggests other scales as well. There are many variations of a 12-bar blues, but a pretty typical progression looks something like this. Notice that the first 8 bars are either B-flat 7 or E-flat 7. These are dominant 7th chords, and they imply what's called a mixolydian scale. A mixolydian scale is basically a major scale with a flatted 7th. Now, it's at this point that it's easy to get overwhelmed. There's simply too much material to work with. So how do we go about creating a melodic improvisation that still sounds authentic to the blues? The best way to get inside the changes of a blues is to bring out the notes that change from chord to chord. Notice that only one note changes between B-flat 7 and E-flat 7. So if I play a one-measure melody that uses a D natural over the B-flat 7 chord, and then repeat that same melody but switch to a D flat when we hit E-flat 7, I'm creating thematic material for my solo. If I go back now to idea 1, but add a little tail on the end of the line, I've gotten through the first 4 measures of my blues progression. Then in measure 5, we go back to idea 2, before adding the same tail that we did at the beginning in measure 7 and 8. Now, did you notice that in the last 4 bars of our blues progression, the chords changed? This is the perfect time for us to add something new. Maybe that blues scale we talked about at the very beginning. This is not beginner level improvisation. This is in fact exactly what the blues tradition is. A melodic idea is repeated, maybe with a little bit of variation, the first 8 measures of the progression before we introduce something new in the turnaround at the end of the form. I'm going to sing a song for you now. This is a blues song called Stormy Monday. It was written by T-Bone Walker in 1947. And he does exactly the things that we're talking about here. They call it Stormy Monday, but Tuesday's just as bad. He then repeats exactly the same thing, measure 5 through 8. I said they call it Stormy Monday, but Tuesday's just as bad. And then at the end, he does something a little bit different. Wednesday's worse, but Thursday also makes me sad. When we think this way with our own blues improvisation, we're doing all kinds of good things. Number 1, we're embracing the entire blues tradition. Number 2, we're creating thematic material that our audience can latch onto. If they go home at the end of the night and they're whistling your solo, you win. We're also giving our rhythm section something to work with so they can react and respond to what we're playing in the moment. And that's next level improvisation. Finally, we're getting inside the blues changes. This is exactly what Sonny Rollins did when he wrote his famous jazz standard, Tenor Madness. If you listen to this, you'll notice he plays a one-measure idea. He alters one note to fit the new harmony in measure 2 before going back to idea 1. He does this through the first 8 bars of the progression before introducing something new in the turnaround. improvise this way, we can spontaneously compose melodies in the same tradition. So let's go back to that solo that we were working on and play all the way through it. Here's what it would sound like. If you're going to take another chorus, there's all kinds of things you can do to help build your solo. Play higher up in our register, embellish the melody a little bit, alter the rhythms, lots of stuff. So go ahead, try it out and have some fun with it. That's all I got.